Success begins with the way you start your day. Morning is the foundation upon which everything else rests. The way you approach those early hours shapes how you navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and stay aligned with your purpose. What you think about in the morning sets the tone not only for the day ahead, but for your overall path in life. Your thoughts, your intentions, your actions in this sacred time, they are not random. They are habits you can shape, patterns you can choose, fuel for your growth, anchors for your success. Asking yourself the right questions every morning is a powerful way to align your mindset with your highest aspirations. These questions are a compass, pointing your focus and energy toward what truly matters. They help you confront distractions, quiet inner noise, and make deliberate choices about how you spend your time. Each question is a gentle invitation to reflect, to center, to commit to the habits that carry you forward. And the beauty of these questions lies in their simplicity. They don't demand hours of analysis or detailed plans. They invite you to pause, to return to what's essential. They call you to align your inner world, your thoughts, your values, your priorities with your outer actions. And that alignment is what brings clarity, purpose, and momentum. That's what allows you to move into the day with confidence and with focus. Morning questions are not about perfect answers. They are about asking the right things in the first place. It's not what you already know at the start of the day that determines your success. It's what you commit to discovering, to doing, to becoming as the day unfolds. Each question is a mirror, helping you see your life with fresh eyes, helping you name what's within your control, helping you take ownership of your choices. Success is never a one-time event. It's the result of consistency of daily effort, honest reflection, and alignment over time. When you begin your mornings with powerful questions, you form a habit of intentionality that compounds into extraordinary results. You stop reacting to life and start leading it. You shift from being passive to being active, from drifting to directing, from surviving to thriving. The first question to ask yourself every morning is, what am I truly grateful for today? Gratitude is a practice that grounds you. It opens your eyes to the abundance that already surrounds you, regardless of your circumstances. And this question isn't about listing superficial blessings. It's about tapping into what you genuinely appreciate right now. It's about recognizing the richness in your experiences, your relationships, your opportunities, and bringing them to the forefront of your awareness. Gratitude shifts your mindset. It moves you from scarcity to abundance. When you pause to see what's already good, you train your mind to focus on what's present, not what's lacking. That doesn't mean you ignore the hard things or pretend everything's perfect. It means you choose to honor the value in your current moment. Gratitude is a perspective. It says, I have enough, I am enough. It becomes a lens that sharpens your focus and heightens your awareness of new opportunities. When you reflect on what you're grateful for, you're not just counting blessings, you're reinforcing a mindset of strength, joy, and resilience. Gratitude has the power to reshape your entire day because it begins with an acknowledgement of what is instead of what's missing. Even in difficult times, there's always something worth noticing. This perspective won't solve every problem, but it will change how you face them. It gives you clarity, it gives you strength. It reminds you that there's still light, even in the struggle. This question is powerful because it forces you to pause in a world that's always rushing. You wake up, you check your phone, you dive into your to-do list. It's easy to overlook the small, sacred things, but asking what you're grateful for makes you slow down. It brings you back to what truly matters. Gratitude transforms relationships too. When you're grateful for the people in your life, for their presence, their kindness, their belief in you, you treat them with greater respect, with deeper love. That energy feeds your relationships. It creates a cycle of appreciation that lifts everyone involved. This question invites you to look deeper. It's easy to be grateful for the obvious wins, the happy moments. But what about the hard things? Can you find gratitude for the setbacks that taught you resilience, for the failures that pushed you to evolve? That level of gratitude is powerful. It reframes adversity. It helps you see value in all of it, not just the pleasant moments, but the ones that shaped you. And this practice isn't just for morning sits, a way of being, but beginning your day with this question sets a powerful tone. It creates a foundation of abundance and perspective that follows you into your decisions, your interactions, your mindset. It equips you to face challenges with grace and to meet opportunities with energy. When you answer this question, don't stay at the surface. Be specific, be intentional. Don't just say you're grateful for your health. Ask yourself why. Maybe it means you woke up feeling strong, ready to pursue your purpose. Don't just say you're grateful for your family. Explore what they've given you. Maybe it's the way they anchor you, remind you of what's real. This kind of specificity deepens your gratitude. It makes it personal, and that makes it powerful. Gratitude isn't just a nice thought, it's a mindset. It shapes how you show up. It shapes how you succeed. When you start your day by asking what you're grateful for, you prime your mind to see what's good, to focus on what's present, to act with purpose. This question is the cornerstone of a successful day. It reminds you that no matter where you are in your journey, there is always something to honor, always something to appreciate. Next, the second question to ask yourself each morning is, what is the most important thing I need to accomplish today? This question brings sharpness. It cuts through the noise. It helps you sift through endless to-do lists, competing priorities, and distractions that pull you in every direction. It forces you to ask, what truly matters today? Where should my energy go? Success doesn't usually fail because of a lack of effort. It fails because of a lack of focus. Many people start their days with good intentions, but they get lost in minor tasks, interruptions, and constant busyness. And by the end of the day, they've worked hard but made little real progress. This question is a guardrail. It protects your day from drifting. It asks you to choose deliberately, consciously, what deserves your highest attention. When you ask yourself what the most important thing is, you're not searching for what's easy or what's popular or what will earn quick praise. You're searching for what aligns with your long-term goals and deepest values. That's the thing that will move the needle not just today, but in the larger picture. This question brings urgency. It brings accountability. When you name your priority, you create a commitment. It's no longer just a vague thought. It's a promise you've made to yourself. And that promise helps you stay grounded when distractions try to steal your focus. One of the hardest parts of this question is learning to distinguish between what's urgent and what's important. Urgent things scream for your attention, but they don't always matter. Important things often whisper, but they build real, lasting value. When you train yourself to listen for what's important, you begin to prioritize meaning over noise. To answer this question, you need to reflect. You need to understand how today fits into the bigger picture. What are your long-term goals? And how does what you do today move you toward them? That's the alignment that creates momentum. That's how you make sure your energy isn't wasted. Once you've identified your priority, break it down. Big tasks can feel overwhelming. That's why people procrastinate. But if you ask, what's the next step I can take today? You shrink the mountain into something manageable. Progress becomes possible. This question also protects you from multitasking. When you try to do everything, you dilute your effort. But when you focus on the one thing that matters most, you give it your bestand, that's when excellence shows up. That's when confidence grows. And when you finish that one important task, even if the rest of your day goes sideways, you still feel grounded. You know you did what mattered. You made progress. And that sense of progress carries you forward. This question also forces you to face resistance. The most important task is often the one you're avoiding. It's the one that feels difficult or scary. But that's why it matters. Because in doing it, you stretch, you grow, you step closer to your potential. And each time you do that, you become more resilient, more determined. And this task doesn't have to be about work. What matters is that it aligns with your values and contributes to your overall well-being and success. This question helps you stay whole. It reminds you not to neglect the things that truly matter. At the end of the day, it's not about how many things you did. It's about whether you made meaningful progress, whether you honored what's important. When you begin your mornings with this question, you step into your day with purpose. You direct your energy with intention, and that transforms ordinary days into extraordinary ones. Next, the third question to ask yourself every morning is, how do I want to show up for others today? This question shifts the focus. It moves you from inner goals to outer impact. It reminds you that success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you serve, how you support, how you connect. It's a question of presence, of intention, of contribution. When you ask yourself how you want to show up for others, you're asking what kind of energy, what kind of attitude, what kind of heart you'll bring into your relationships. Will you lead with kindness, with patience, with understanding? Or will stress and distraction shape your responses? This reflection sets the tone. It helps you live on purpose. It helps you become the person you aspire to be. It invites you to consider the roles you play in your family, in your friendships, in your work. You might be a friend or a mentor to someone in need. Each of these roles requires a unique kind of presence and energy. By reflecting on how you want to show up, you ensure that you're intentional about fulfilling these roles in a way that strengthens your relationships and deepens your influence. How you show up for others isn't just about grand gestures or dramatic actions. More often, it's the small, everyday choices that make the greatest difference. It's taking the time to truly listen in a conversation, offering a quiet word of encouragement, or simply being present, attentive, grounded, aware. These seemingly minor acts create a ripple effect, building trust, connection, and goodwill in your relationships. This question reveals the importance of emotional awareness. To show up for others in a meaningful way, you must first be in tune with your own emotions and manage them with intention. If you're feeling stressed, irritable, or overwhelmed, those emotions can leak into your interactions and color the way you treat others. But by pausing for even a moment to check in with yourself, to breathe, and to set a clear intention for how you want to show up, you create space for a more thoughtful, composed, and deliberate response. One of the most powerful aspects of this question is how it draws you into empathy. When you ask yourself how you want to show up for others, you step into their world, their experience. You consider what they might need from you. It's no longer just about how you wish to be seen, but about how you can serve, support, uplift. This outward focus nurtures deeper, more meaningful connections. Answering this question helps you prepare for challenging situations. If you anticipate a hard conversation or a potentially stressful interaction, reflecting on how you want to show up can steady your heart and anchor your response. Rather than reacting impulsively or defensively, you can meet the moment with grace, with poise, with the qualities you've already chosen to embody. This kind of intentionality has the power to transform conflict into a doorway for growth, healing, and understanding. This question reminds you of the influence you carry. Whether you realize it or not, your energy, your words, your action shows the power to inspire, to motivate, or to discourage the people around you. By choosing to show up as your best self, you create an atmosphere that nurtures collaboration, trust, and shared success. You become a source of strength, a quiet pillar of encouragement, lifting others through your presence alone. Reflecting on how you want to show up also reinforces your sense of purpose. It's easy to become consumed by personal goals and forget the quiet impact you're making in the lives of others. This question draws you back into alignment. It reminds you that your success is deeply tied to the well-being and success of those around you. When you show up with care, with integrity, with intentionality, you create a legacy of influence that stretches far beyond individual accomplishments. This reflection also helps you identify areas for growth in your relationships. If you notice you've been distant, distracted, or short-tempered, this is an invitation not to judge yourself, but to course correct. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about being aware and choosing again and again to do better. Over time, this steady habit of reflection strengthens your relationships and builds a reputation rooted in reliability, presence, and quiet integrity. At its heart, this question is about alignment, bringing your actions into harmony with your values, your presence into agreement with your intentions. It's a reminder that how you show up matters not only for others, but for your own sense of fulfillment. When you move through the day with the quiet, unwavering intention to show up as your truest, highest self, you begin to build a life that reflects your deepest ideals. You leave behind a quiet but powerful imprint on the hearts of those you encounter. Here's the next one. The fourth question to ask yourself every morning is, what challenges might I face today and how can I handle them? This question gently shifts your attention toward preparation and resilience. It's an acknowledgement that life will inevitably bring its share of obstacles and that true success doesn't lie in avoiding them, but in how you respond. Thinking about the challenges ahead doesn't mean dwelling on negativity or inviting hardship. It's a practice in readiness. It's about anticipating what might come and equipping yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to meet it with courage. This kind of inner preparation helps you move through the day with clarity and confidence. Instead of being blindsided, you walk in with your eyes open, grounded in the knowledge that you are prepared. When you take the time to reflect on the challenges you might face, you allow yourself the chance to develop a response before you're in the heat of the moment. Maybe there's a demanding project on your desk. Maybe a difficult conversation is waiting for you. Maybe there's a personal task you've been avoiding for too long. By naming these challenges, you bring them out of the shadows. You strip them of some of their weight. Challenges always seem less daunting once you've given yourself space to think about how you'll move through them. This question also prompts you to evaluate your resources and strengths. What tools, what skills, what support systems do you already have that can help you? If there's a tight deadline looming, maybe it's time to delegate or reprioritize. If a tense conversation is ahead, maybe you need to rehearse your thoughts or seek the wisdom of someone you trust. Identifying your resources strengthens your resolve and quiets the anxiety that often comes with uncertainty. Looking ahead to the day's challenges also helps you set realistic expectations. Some days will flow with ease, others will test your patience. But when you've already accepted that obstacles are part of the path, you're less likely to be knocked off center when they show up. You can adapt more gracefully, maintaining focus and composure no matter what unfolds. This question highlights the need for emotional preparedness. Challenges have a way of stirring up stress, frustration, or self-doubt emotions that can cloud your clarity and derail your momentum. By taking a moment to reflect on how you can meet these feelings before they arise, you give yourself a quiet roadmap. Emotional regulation is a critical skill that enables you to navigate challenges without being overwhelmed. Thinking about challenges encourages a problem-solving mindset. Instead of viewing obstacles as insurmountable barriers, you begin to see them as puzzles to solve or as opportunities to grow. This shift in perspective fosters creativity and resilience. It allows you to approach difficulties with curiosity rather than resistance. You begin asking questions like, what's another way to approach this? Or, what can this teach me? These questions lead to constructive action instead of frustration or stagnation. This question invites you to consider the external factors that might influence your day. Perhaps you anticipate heavy traffic during your commute, a delay in receiving important information, or some resistance from a colleague on a joint project. By acknowledging these potential roadblocks ahead of time, you give yourself the space to plan accordingly. Proactive thinking minimizes surprises and enhances your ability to adapt. Reflecting on challenges also reminds you of the value of flexibility. No matter how carefully you plan, not everything will go as expected. Successful individuals understand that adaptability is key to overcoming obstacles. They remain open to changing course, adjusting their approach, or seeking alternative solutions when needed. This flexibility is the mark of resilience that ensures you stay aligned with your path, even when the terrain gets rough. Considering challenges isn't about dwelling on the negative, it's about recognizing the possibilities hidden within them. Challenges often contain moments for growth, learning, and strengthening your problem-solving abilities. When you approach them with the mindset that every challenge carries within it a gift, a lesson, or a hidden doorway, you begin to transform obstacles into stepping stones for success. This question also reinforces the power of self-compassion. Some challenges will test you more deeply than others, and you won't handle every situation perfectly. But by reflecting on how you might handle those challenges in advance, you set a clear intention to do your best without demanding perfection. This balance of effort and grace allows you to walk through difficulties without unnecessary pressure or guilt. By simply asking yourself what challenges might arise and how you can meet them, you create a mental blueprint for the day. You set a tone of resilience, of preparation, of grace under pressure. This question is not just about anticipating what could go wrong, it's about empowering yourself to meet it all with courage and confidence. Next, the fifth question to ask yourself each morning, what can I learn or improve today? This question awakens a mindset of continuous growth and curiosity, two essential ingredients for both personal and professional fulfillment. It shifts your focus from merely going through the motions to actively seeking out ways to expand your skills, deepen your understanding, and step into a fuller version of yourself. Each day is an open invitation to grow, but growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires conscious effort and the willingness to challenge yourself. When you begin your morning with this question, you're declaring your intention to build the day around learning and improvement. You're reminding yourself that no matter how experienced, how skilled, or how wise you may already be, there is always more to explore. When you ask yourself what you can learn or improve, you invite in a sense of curiosity and wonder. This mindset encourages you to approach your tasks, your conversations, and your experiences with openness and with the expectation that each moment holds the potential to teach you something new. It's not just about structured education or formal training. It's about seeing every interaction as a teacher, every situation as a classroom. Think about the specific areas of your life where you long to grow. When you begin the day with this question, you give yourself a chance to identify a small, meaningful action that brings you closer to that vision. Maybe you want to become a better listener so today. You decide to focus fully and attentively in every conversation. This question creates space for intention and reflection. What recent challenges have you faced? What lessons are waiting to be unearthed from them? When you actively seek insight from your past, you turn missteps into powerful lessons. Instead of being weighed down by what went wrong, you shift your energy toward how you can move forward, stronger, wiser, more whole. Improvement often requires stepping beyond your comfort zone. When you ask what you can learn or improve, you're more likely to embrace the very challenges that spark transformation. Those moments of discomfort, that stretching, that friction are where the deepest growth takes place. This question also encourages humility. It's a reminder that no matter how much you've achieved, there is always more to discover. Truly successful individuals carry this mindset with them. They see themselves not as experts who've arrived, but as students on a never-ending journey. They know that growth isn't a destination, it's a path. And they walk that path with reverence, with eagerness, with eyes wide open. When you make learning and improvement a daily priority, you become more adaptable. The ability to learn quickly and effectively is essential in a world that is constantly changing. By choosing to grow a little more each day, you build the resilience and agility needed to thrive amidst uncertainty and to step boldly into the opportunities that lie ahead. This question isn't just about professional development, it applies to personal growth as well. What can you learn about yourself today? How can you improve your relationships, your health, or your overall well-being? By considering these aspects, you create a holistic approach to growth zone that enriches every area of your life. Learning doesn't always come from traditional sources. Yes, you should read books. Yes, you should take courses and find a mentor. But sometimes, the most profound lessons come simply from observing the world around you. When you begin your day with a learning mindset, you become more attuned to those moments. You notice patterns. You pick up on subtle cues. You gain insights that others might overlook. Improvement involves both giving and receiving feedback. Asking yourself what you can learn or where you can improve primes you to seek input from others. Whether it's a friend, a family member, or someone else entirely, their perspective can offer valuable clarity. It can help you see blind spots, reveal new opportunities, and open doors within you that you didn't even know were closed. This willingness to engage with feedback doesn't signal weakness, it's a sign of strength. It shows confidence. It shows a deep commitment to becoming better. This question fosters a proactive approach to problem solving. Instead of waiting for challenges to force you to adapt, you take the initiative to prepare and grow. You're not just reacting to the demands of the day, you're actively equipping yourself with the tools, the skills, and the knowledge needed to thrive. Because at the end of the day, learning and improvement aren't just about reaching specific goals. They're about becoming the kind of person who is always evolving, always curious, always striving, always willing to stretch beyond comfort into growth. By asking yourself this question each morning, you cultivate a mindset that prioritizes development, resilience, and quiet excellence. Next, the sixth question to ask yourself every morning is, what am I doing today to move closer to my long-term goals? This question serves as a powerful anchor, making sure the decisions and actions you take today are aligned with the future you want to create. It bridges the gap between aspiration and action, turning abstract dreams into tangible progress. Long-term goals are like a compass. They give your journey direction and meaning. They guide your efforts, help you stay focused, and bring purpose to the path you're walking. But the road to these goals is rarely smooth. It's full of distractions, competing priorities, and moments of uncertainty. Without daily intentionality, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. That's why asking yourself this question each morning is so powerful. It's a moment to reaffirm your commitment, a moment to set the tone for purposeful action. This question invites you to think strategically about your day, not to cram every hour with activity or to glorify busyness, but to center your time on what matters most. It pushes you to prioritize high-impact actions, the ones that truly move the needle. Whether it's advancing your career, nurturing your health, strengthening your relationships, or diving deeper into your personal growth, this question helps you zero in on the essentials. Because when you ask yourself what you're doing today to move closer to your long-term goals, you're reminded of the quiet power of consistency. Big achievements rarely come from one grand gesture. They're built slowly through small, deliberate actions repeated over time. Every single day offers you a chance to make progress, no matter how small that progress may seem. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and every step counts. This question also invites reflection. How are you using your time? Are your daily habits and routines aligned with your goals, or are they pulling you in another direction? It's easy to get caught up in the urgent and forget the important. But by starting your day with this question, you create a kind of filter, a lens through which you can focus your energy on what truly matters. Think about how this applies to specific goals. If your long-term aim is to write a book, then what are you doing today to move that forward? Maybe it's setting aside an hour to write. Maybe it's brainstorming new ideas or researching your topic. If your goal is to get in shape, what steps are you taking today? Are you exercising, eating well, prioritizing rest? The small choices you make today build the momentum that carries you into tomorrow's breakthroughs. This question also highlights the importance of preparation. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's created through clarity, through planning, through intention. When you take time to identify what you'll do today to get closer to your goal, you stop drifting, you begin directing. You shift from reaction to creation. You step into the role of the architect of your life. Answering this question honestly might also reveal areas where you're falling short. That's okay. That's where the growth begins. It's not about blame, it's about awareness. It's about recognizing where you've been avoiding, procrastinating, or distracting yourself and choosing to change that. Owning that truth is the first act of transformation, because this question reinforces the connection between your short-term actions and your long-term outcomes. It reminds you what you do today matters. The choices you make right now accumulate, building energy, momentum, direction. Each decision to show up, to work, to grow, those decisions add up. They create the rhythm of progress, and that rhythm becomes your legacy. Neglecting your goals today means delaying your future, but honoring your goals today, right now, means building that future one step at a time. When you focus on what you're doing today to move closer to your long-term goals, you cultivate a sense of purpose. Your actions gain meaning because they're tied to something greater than this moment. And that purpose becomes fuel. It sustains your motivation. It strengthens your resolve. It helps you stay disciplined and resilient even when the path ahead feels uncertain. This question also encourages flexibility, because while long-term goals offer direction, the path to them is rarely straight. Life shifts, new insights emerge, and that's okay. By reflecting on your actions daily, you give yourself permission to adjust to pivot without losing sight of your destination. It's not about rigidly clinging to a plan. It's about remaining intentional and open. It's about being both grounded and adaptable. And finally, this question invites gratitude. It invites celebration. Because when you acknowledge the steps you're taking, no matter how small, you reinforce a deep sense of progress. And that sense of progress matters. Success isn't only about reaching the finish line. It's about honoring the journey. It's about appreciating the effort, the consistency, the courage it takes to keep going. As you reflect on what you're doing today to move closer to your long-term goals, remember this: progress is a series of small victories. And every action, no matter how modest, brings you one step nearer to the life you were born to live. This question is your daily reminder. Stay focused, stay committed, and keep moving forward. Next, there is the seventh question to ask yourself every morning. How can I make today meaningful no matter what happens? This question is about embracing each day as an opportunity to live with intention regardless of the circumstances around you. It shifts your attention from what's outside your control to the choices you can make to infuse your day with purpose and significance. Life is unpredictable. Challenges, delays, unexpected events, they can disrupt your plans and test your resolve. It's easy to let those moments set the tone for your day, leaving you feeling frustrated or unfulfilled. But when you commit to making the day meaningful, no matter what happens, you reclaim your power. You're no longer at the mercy of events. You become the one shaping how you respond to them. This question invites you to define what meaning looks like for you. It's not about grand gestures or monumental achievements. Meaning can live in the simplest acts of kindness, in quiet moments of connection, or in the pursuit of something that matters to you. It's about aligning your actions with your values, focusing on what truly makes life rich and rewarding. When you begin your day with this question, you set an intention to move through the day with purpose. It's a reminder that every moment offers a chance to contribute, to grow, or to make a difference. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your personal path, you have the ability to bring meaning into even the most ordinary of tasks. This question helps you prioritize what matters most. In the busyness of daily life, it's easy to get caught in a swirl of urgency tasks that demand your attention but don't nourish your soul. But when you ask yourself how to make the day meaningful, you cut through the noise. You focus on what brings value to you and to the people around you. Think of how this might unfold on a difficult day. Maybe a project is delayed. Maybe a personal plan falls through. And yet, instead of letting those things define your experience, you pause and you choose to find meaning in how you respond. These choices may feel small in the moment, but over time they build a life of depth and fulfillment. This question also expands your perspective. It reminds you that meaning often lives in our relationships and connections. When you ask yourself how you can make the day meaningful, you're inviting in opportunities to support, to inspire, to uplift. A kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply being present, these are the things that carry weight. These are the moments that not only touch others, but deepen your own sense of purpose. And another powerful layer to this question is its call to resilience. When you commit to making the day meaningful, no matter what unfolds, you're preparing yourself to meet life with grace and quiet determination. You're acknowledging that while you can't control everything, you can control how you meet it. This mindset keeps you grounded. It keeps you anchored when the winds of uncertainty blow. This question is also an invitation into mindfulness. To make the day meaningful, you must be presently engaged with the moment, with what you're doing, with who you're with. It's about slowing down, noticing the small joys, and finding beauty in the ordinary. When you carry this kind of awareness into your day, even routine tasks take on a deeper dimension. And this commitment to creating meaning, it naturally fosters gratitude. Because when you're focused on what makes the day meaningful, you begin to see the blessings that are already here, the opportunities, the relationships, the experiences that surround you. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It helps you see the goodness in your day, even when things don't go according to plan. Ultimately, this question calls you to live authentically. Meaning is not something external. It's not about meeting someone else's expectations or chasing someone else's version of success. It's about aligning your actions with your values, with your priorities. When you start each day from that place, you begin to build a life that reflects who you truly are. So, as you reflect on how to make today meaningful, remember meaning isn't something you find, it's something you create. It lives in the choices you make, in the lens you look through, and the way you show up. When you embrace this question each morning, you're setting the tone for a day rich in purpose, connection, and fulfillment. A meaningful day doesn't require perfection. It doesn't need to be filled with extraordinary events. It begins with how you choose to approach the ordinary with presence, with care, with intention. When you begin your day with these 7 questions, you're building a framework for living on purpose. Each one becomes a compass, guiding your thoughts, your actions, your energy toward what matters most to you. And when you commit to asking them every morning, you're doing more than setting the tone for the day. You're shaping your future. The clarity, the focus, the purpose that come from these reflections, they build momentum. Over time, you become more resilient, more adaptable, more capable of navigating complexity with confidence and calm. You stop reacting, you start creating, you choose how you show up. And the beauty of these questions is in their simplicity. They don't require hours of planning, they don't demand elaborate rituals. All they ask is that you take a few moments each morning to pause, to reflect, and to center yourself. They remind you of the power. You already hold the power to shape your day, no matter what challenges appear. They root you in intention, they ground you in truth. Greatness is not born in a single moment. It is built choice by choice, day by day. These questions are the foundation of that building. They help you rise above distraction, overcome obstacles, and return again and again to what matters. They are your daily invitation to act with purpose, to live with meaning, to create a life that reflects who you are and what you believe in. And as you move forward, remember, these answers don't have to be perfect. This is not about pressure. It's not about performance. It's about presence. It's about possibility. These questions are your moment to check in, to reconnect with your purpose, to align with your truth, to meet the day with curiosity and openness. And over time, they become a habit, a rhythm, a part of who you are. They become a tool that transforms your life, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Every morning when you pause to ask these questions, you make a powerful choice. The choice to live intentionally, the choice to grow, the choice to create a life of meaning and impact. With each answer, you're shaping your mindset, you're shaping your actions, you're shaping your future. The journey to success, to fulfillment, to greatness, it begins here. With these questions and the unwavering commitment to reflect, to act, and to grow every single day.